Mandalore was a point of great contention during both the Clone Wars and Age of the Empire, and as we see, by the time of the New Republic, Mandalorians are spread across the galaxy in pretty pitiful small tribes. But why is this, and what actually happened on Mandalore post the Empire? Now, the timeline between Clone Wars Rebels, where we see Bo-Katan become the new leader of Mandalore, and the events of The Mandalorian are pretty fuzzy at best, as they don't really give us any canon reasons as to what happens, just something referred to as the Purge, where most Mandalorians are wiped out. And I want to quickly go through my proposed timeline and see if this lets us understand exactly what happened to Mandalore post the Empire. So both Gar and Tiber Saxon are the Imperial Viceroys, and they're killed by the Rebels and the Mandalorians in a coalition, leading to Bo-Katan gaining the Darksaber and becoming the Mandalore, or leader of the world. Now, this is incredibly bad for the Empire, as it requires materials from Mandalore, chiefly Beskar, the super strong metal, to continue its war efforts. For this reason, the Empire will probably have naturally sent Imperial reinforcements to the world to end this insurrection, likely being headed by Moff Gideon. So in this purge, the Mandalorians are massacred. We don't know a lot about it, but to say the Mandalorians are butchered tells us that it must have been pretty bad. Anyways, the Imperials take the world, and essentially they just take all of the resources that they can take. They strip mine it and they loot it from armors and other resources that the Mandalorians have. For this reason, anybody who considers themselves somebody who follows Mandalorian traditions in the fact that they fight, naturally is going to have to flee at this point to escape the Imperial pressures. So what happens now? Well, following Sidious's deaths, as we know, the Empire went into panic mode. I find it very likely that the Imperials probably were eager to abandon Mandalore quickly to fight the greater opponent, being the Rebellion and New Republic. Mandalore at this point had very little strategic value. However, it's likely they did this with a desire to not leave anything for the clans to come back to. So they probably used a scorched earth policy, likely destroying the cities using orbital bombardments. Now, this is actually very bad. You see, Mandalore without its cities is almost completely inhospitable. Years of war and carnage left it a desolate desert, where only the cities are capable of actually supporting life. An oasis, if you will. However, once these cities are destroyed, without huge amounts of aid, people would be stuck, exposed to the elements, and likely die long, agonizing deaths from exposure, lack of food, and water. Now, the Republic and Empire at this point will have been brutally battling it out. And realistically, there's no chance of Mandalore getting the aid that they need. Mandalore didn't have a very good reputation with other worlds. To the New Republic, it may have seemed like a staunchly Imperial world, as it was only until recently ruled by the Saxon brothers. So it wouldn't have been high in the list of priorities. As well as this, with all of the Beskar mined and plundered, the world doesn't really have any value. It's not going to help them with the war effort. So the New Republic can't risk going and spending resources liberating it. Meanwhile, the clans were too spread out and too ill-prepared to have been able to help their own people. Most of them didn't even really have their own ships. So ultimately, I would guess that post the Empire, Mandalore was just left as a shadow husk of a world. The few Mandalorians that survived the Purge will have been left to die, with their only shelter being destroyed out of spite by the Empire. Meanwhile, with no strategic value, neither side cared enough about the world to stop it from falling into disrepair and save the countless amount of civilians on there from their agonizing deaths. But what do you guys think? What would have happened? And do you think many Mandalorians actually will have survived? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, please remember to like, share and sub, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, I really do hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.